Hey guys, Jason Castle here with Bass Boat Electronics. We've got the Lowrance LiveSight transducer. I'm going to show you what's in the box, and also in this video I'm going to show you how to install the transducer. So when you open it up, you're going to have your quick access guide. This has 11 different languages, so pretty much any language that you can read in, or for you, this will have it. It'll show you the orientation as far as the forward and the down mode. The quick reference guide's pretty thick. There's not much in it. Here's your spec sheet, also installation guide on the other side. Open it up, it's got a full description of how to install this transducer and all its mounting options, and of course your warranty card from Lowrance. So in the box you got the Lowrance LiveSight transducer. So this transducer has a 25-foot cable with a blue end on it. It's a blue 9-pin plugged directly into your HDS Live units. So this is going to be on actual channel 1 for your sonar units, and we'll walk you through on the setup and orientation of this transducer later on. So you've got your shaft mount transducer, metal bracket that'll go on the shaft, 2 hose clamps, and it'll bolt on to the next piece, which mounts directly to the transducer itself. So you got 2 bolts that'll bolt this on. You've also got a nut that'll go through 2 holes, so it'll fix the angle for your forward mode, so you don't have to worry about the transducer slipping down or up. It's pretty locked into place. This is your bracket for the down mode, so orientation on the bottom of the transducer. This is the bracket you will use on the LiveSight transducer, and of course you can mount it on the transom as well for down and forward view. Here's your included hose clamps, 2 for the shaft and 1 large one for the down mode, and your hardware to mount the transducer on the bracket. So that's it. Now we're going to show you how to install the Lowrance LiveSight transducer. Alright guys, let's go through our installation of the Lowrance LiveSight transducer. It's going to give you your forward-looking view. Pretty cool transducer. You know, installation's actually pretty straightforward and really easy. You know, the basic brackets and the design of the transducer, you really can't go wrong on it. So main thing, you know, you got to feed the cable to this bracket to mount to the shaft. You know, I'm mounting it on the shaft of this Ultrex motor for the forward looking angle. I'm not going to be running the down view in this part. So it's going to come with 4 screws with lock washers. You want to just make sure you tighten them down. You know, hand tight's good. If you want, you can add some Loctite into those screws to prevent them from backing out. It's kind of good install practice, but you know, you've also got these 2 bolts that'll hold the bracket for the shaft onto the transducer mount. Those are going to be a 10mm head, so 10mm wrench and socket. That's all you'll need for that. There's also a nut, Phillips head with a nut on the back that is a 7mm nut that you'll want to lock the orientation of that transducer. It sets the degree, so you don't have to worry about it going up or down. But I've got some existing transducers mounted on this motor, so I fed the hose clamps under those transducer wires. You want to be kind of careful if you are running separate transducers down there to make sure you don't bind those up or anything. But you know, hose clamps on the shaft, there's 2 of them. Make sure they're pretty tight and snug. Now the key is, you know, you want to make sure you're looking forward on your trolling motor, so take some time, make sure you line it up on your forward mode. I've got my little helper, helps me collect tools and anything that I might miss, so she pops in the video every now and then. But it's pretty straightforward, guys. Run it up like any other transducer. You know, what I like to do is, you know, if you change your shaft height, you know, going from shallow water or deep, and obviously it's going to depend on what motor you're running, but you know, I like to go ahead and tape. I'll use electrical tape to wrap around the transducers so you can see it there, and that'll pretty much mock it up exactly where it's going to be. And then I'll come back at the end and put zip ties over that electrical tape, you know, not too tight. You don't want to pinch or bind up, but you'll be able to see that I leave plenty of slack if I do want to pull that trolling motor up. You know, the last point on that shaft is going to be as high as I could run my motor. I kind of fly through it just because I've installed many transducers on our demo boat, and of course this cover from TH Marine is awesome. But you can find that on our website as well. Those are pretty cool and handy. Mine's turning purple from black from being in the sun so long, but that's just part of it. It's a great great piece, great component, makes everything nice and neat. So I've got to undo the mount to run the wire in to the boat and kind of keep it up out of the way. You know, every model is going to be a little bit different on how you organize the cable. You know, do it kind of quick and easy. There's going to be a lot of excess cable. I do it in a figure 8 knot, kind of keeps from interference compounding on itself in a coil. So if you take it in a figure 8, it will help reduce that. I'm not seeing any interference on this transducer. You know, obviously you've got some suppression ferrets as well you can add on. But again, you know, there's no, the way the grounding wire in these motors now, you don't have the interference that you used to have. So I feed the transducer nice and neat. Again, this is going to be on channel 1 on your HDS Live transducer. Just kind of finishing up the install, getting my cover back in place and making sure that my cables are where they need to be, nothing's hanging down. Bolt the unit back up, pretty quick and easy. I do run the US2, actually, the built-in transducer on this unit. So on this install, I'm using channel 1 and channel 2. Channel 2 actually tell it it's just a generic 83200 transducer. But that's it. So next video, I'm going to show you, walk through the setup and orientation. So make sure you like us, follow us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is bassboatelectronics.com.